Hey, good afternoon, Justice Warriors. It appears that I'm on live, which is the goal. Let me do all the things I like to do when I get started, such as clean my glasses, run my sound check, hold up the thumb and ask you to hit that like button. What else? Make sure that you're still subscribed if you are subscribed, and if you're not, please consider doing so. It does wonders for the channel, and I very much appreciate all of my viewers on the live and on the replay crew. Share a video of mine with somebody that you think might like my channel, and turn on your notification bell to ring if you want to be notified when I come on. And everything I say is simply my opinion. And yes, I do have an opinion, and it's okay to agree to disagree. That's not what I have my channel for, to debate these things that I'm very passionate about. Anna Bees, I love you, my dear. I saw you in BoobTube TV's chat. For anybody who doesn't know, BoobTube TV just dropped a video about censorship, and it ties right in with our Ms. Kiely Rodni and all these, are you ready for the new term? Broligarchs. Have you heard that one yet, Anna Bees? Broligarchs. I didn't make it up. Somebody else did. A woman who has been studying oligarchies, and she was doing an interview with Jon Stewart a few days ago. And I just thought it was the bomb, the broligarchs. So I want to talk about the broligarchs. I mean, I do, but I don't, right? How is the sound? I always want to be like closer to the mic, but I don't want to be too close for comfort. I don't want to cause problems, right? Everything good? Sound is good? Very cool. Okay, so something just came across on my phone, and let me see what it is. Nothing I need to worry about right now. I've got a lot of notes, you guys. I've been taking notes like crazy. But let me see if I can organize my thoughts enough to say the things that I want to say. Did I do my whole thing? I don't think I finished it. Everything I say is simply my opinion, for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, learn something, be educational. All of these videos that I make are for YouTube, and it's an entertainment platform. So hopefully YouTube will stay YouTube-ish, because yeah, it just seems like all the platforms are changing dramatically. For those that don't know, I used to be on Facebook. I was actually, my sister made me my Facebook account in 2004, you guys. We had a friend who was in the pilot project for Facebook, and I didn't know about it. My sister did, and she was like, you got to have a Facebook page. It's going to be the next big thing. And I was like, what? And every time I talked to her, she was like, what do you think of Facebook? Have you checked it out yet? And I'd be like, no. And then finally, yeah, I got addicted. I got hooked. They're also addictive, aren't they? Helly, am I saying it right? Good evening. Yeah, we're just at the early evening, 4:00 here in Ohio. What's your time difference? Where are you at, Helly B? You said you're in Scotland, is that right? We're at Super Green. Hey, C3PO, what's up? So anyway, I was on Facebook. I was highly addicted. I had to go on the methadone treatment, and I was talking about it a little bit yesterday in regards to the Suzanne Morphew case. So when I had a lot of people contacting me, I think because I was so active on Facebook around the Suzanne Morphew case, people thought I had some sort of expertise, and, maybe just because of the way I am in my interactions and with the life experience that I've had in my background. But, people were coming to me with like precious information. So, I slept on it, and then I called the tip line, and then they didn't call me back for a couple of weeks. And, and in the private message conversations, I would be like, are you taking this to the authorities? And usually the answer, of course, would be yes, but not always. And also, you can't trust anybody, right? So first of all, you can't really trust that the information is true and accurate. Could be just a wingnut. And just because they say they took it to authorities, that doesn't mean that they really did. So I made sure that all the information that people were giving me that seemed like it might be true and accurate and helpful, that I got it through to the proper channel. But when the tip line folks didn't return my call for a couple of weeks, I thought, oh, okay, well, they're just getting bombarded. They have all the information they need. They're never going to call me back. And they did call me back. And then they spent a very long time on the phone with me. I told them exactly what my deal was and that I didn't really know anything. And they were amazing. I think we probably spoke for like 45 minutes the first time. And then they called me back a couple of times to follow up and ask me some questions. And then, like I mentioned yesterday, I followed up with them like a year later, maybe 2 years later. I can't believe it's been almost 5 years. 5.5 years since she went missing on Mother's Day. And then when her remains were found in the boneyard, which is just about an hour's drive from the National Sand Dunes Park. I'm not sure what that one is called in Colorado. I think it's just called that, the National Sand Dunes Park. Is that right? Does somebody want to Google it? And there's nothing there. Like, even though it's an hour away, there's literally nothing in between the boneyard and those sand dunes that, Chris and Kay thought were so special. And I've never heard anybody say anything remotely positive about those sand dunes. Like, I've heard people say that they're spooky and weird stuff. So is my light here is like changing colors. That's kind of cool, huh? But where's my remote? Let me see if I can make it not change colors, even though it is kind of cool, isn't it? Let's see if I do that and just let it not change colors so it's not distracting me in my background. So yeah, the only thing that you can see on a map down there, other than like complete desolation, is that UFO observatory. And from what I hear, that's just like a platform. It's nothing really. And apparently some weird shit happens there. Like, I'm thinking maybe it's like a witchcraft kind of Titanic type of place. That's what it makes me think. Helene B, love the lights beside me. It's my chakra tower. Ta-da! I've worked long and hard to get this puppy up off the ground, and it is like new and improved every day. And I still need the purple one on top. I have like a giant purple thing on top, but I need like a nice, see, there's the giant purple thing with Christmas lights in it. But I need like a nice thing about the size of these. And sometimes I think maybe it needs to be solid amethyst, but that would be very expensive, which is why I haven't done it yet. But for the meantime, I just love it the way it is. I absolutely love it. So thank you. Yeah, it is cool, isn't it? And so when we're gazing at it, it should align our chakras so that we're all in tune, right? I started my Facebook in 2009. Anna B's was early too. Let's see, 2106 here in Bonnie, Scotland. So 2106 would be like 9 o'clock. Is that right? Is it 9 at night? So it's 5 hours later than it is on the East Coast of the USA. Sounds like. So let's see. I'd like to give you guys a rundown of what I have in my notes, what's on my mind. And then I'd like to kind of go through it and talk with you guys about it. I do have a little bit over an hour, I'm happy to say. BoobTube says, sorry it took me so long to get here. My apologies. Hey, everyone. Hey, Miss Jazz. Man, your video is awesome. And yeah, nobody has ever heard of Oracle. Oracle is a titan. It's a financial company. I don't know if it's a financial company. It's just like a business company, just business. I mean, it's, finances, but it's all very mysterious, and they have a hand in everything. They're kind of a small company, but they're everywhere. So I think their flagship was, probably still is, near where I went to graduate school in Belmont, California. I want to say their flagship location is in San Mateo, right? Isn't that accurate, BoobTube? Yeah. I'm only able to be in here for a bit. Well, thanks for coming, you guys. So yeah, it is really freaky, the information. Oh, Down the Rabbit Hole shared a post that somebody made on Sunday that if they can shut down TikTok so easily, they could shut down the child P if they freaking wanted to. Like, give me a break. Okay, that is accurate, BoobTube. Yeah, I knew some people that worked there. Some of those Thunderbirds worked there. I was talking about the Thunderbirds from Arizona, and it's like a graduate school of business. I like to say business. Hilarious as Oracle runs the cloud servers for TikTok. Yeah, they're one of those things that hides in plain sight. Like, I'm just out in Podunk, Ohio, and there's a small Oracle building 10 miles from where I live. And I wouldn't notice it if I hadn't lived in San Francisco and knew people that worked at the flagship Oracle. It's very small. It just looks like a regular office building, very inconspicuous, which a lot of times is how the FBI headquarters are too. It's pretty wild, just hiding in plain sight. So yeah, I wanted to share some funny things, and I wanted to talk about some real serious things. Like right now, the most serious thing to me is all of the pardons for the January 6th rioters. Let me let the puppy dog in. Come here, Coco. Hey, girl. My little cancer girl. She's so cute. So she's just been very clingy. That's cool. I love you, baby. Sorry, she can't be in the screen. Well, I could kind of move things and show her and maybe not knock anything over. Let's see. And you guys can see what's behind the scenes. Watch me knock everything over, right? Because everything's connected in ways that you wouldn't even think. Can you see her? She's black, so you probably can't even see her down there. Maybe you can kind of see her collar, but my arm is in the way. How come my arm can't get out of the way? Dang it. No, it's not working. Okay. I'm going to give up trying. This is why my little mantra, don't touch anything. I'm the pirate who doesn't touch anything. Okay, did I get it back on track? And see, especially because when you're doing your live, everything is opposite. When you go left, it goes right. And when you're not doing a live, it doesn't do that. So it makes it even more confusing because it's like, am I live? Am I recording? I don't know. I pre-record my yoga mostly, and I mostly do my true crime live. But my true crime is coming into politics, and I really wanted to resist that, but I feel as strongly as I've ever felt that it's imperative. So the J6ers that all got pardoned, the 1,600 of them, you guys know that I am extremely passionate about the situation with Brian Sicknick. He was the one who passed away the day after the insurrection. 42 years old. Maybe I'll use a picture of him for my thumbnail so that everybody can remember him. But another outspoken survivor of J6, law enforcement, whose name I didn't know, but I've heard his story, is Michael Fanone, I think is how you say it. He was the cop who got tasered in the neck with his own taser, which gave him a heart attack and a brain injury. He was beaten and restrained and beaten some more. They tried to get his gun out of his holster, And one of the J6ers was saying, kill him, shoot him with his own gun. I mean, pew pew. So Michael Fanone, oh, what a sad, sad story. A lot of these officers were Trumpers, and I don't think they ever will be again. A lot of these officers, I'm not saying this with any judgment, but were in on it. It gets very dicey very quickly. A lot of police officers are in with white supremacy. I'll just say it. Yeah, where did I have that written down? Yeah, the white supremacy sympathizers. A lot of law enforcement officers are. And all of that Proud Boys and all that stuff is a lot of white supremacy. It's terrible. And that's also what ties in with those cases in Indiana, which Indiana has a high concentration of what I'm talking about. So then going into the Odinism, and there might be some Odinism in Bohemian Grove, right, you guys? Those of you that know more about Bohemian Grove than I do, because I'd never heard of it, I don't think, until the Kiely Rodni case. So let me read what you guys are saying. CIA funded. I know what you're saying there. Yeah, craziness. Absolutely craziness. Some universities are funded by that as well. Andrew Tate still walks the earth. So does Pedo Brother Scumbags. Oh, I've got some news for you about Bieber and Usher and Kim Porter and all of it. All of it. Did the triathlon to prove a point. We'll be listening while I rest. The triathlon. I'm like, you just did a triathlon? Yeah, good job, BoobTube. So what they mean is that they reposted the video 3 times. So if you want to go to BoobTube TV's channel, sub up if you're not subbed up, and check out the content. I love the content that they put out. Sorry about your BoobTube. Thank you. Last night was rough. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll be listening while I work. Much love, everyone. Always the hardest part is losing a beloved pet. Wait, what did I miss? You lost a pet last night? I'm so sorry that I missed that, and I'm so sorry that that happened. Oh, I have some Grove stuff up in my community posts. Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, that is the worst, losing a pet. How can this president exonerate those who violated the blue? That's not backing the blue now, is it? And then he's wanting to say that all these undocumented, or even if they are documented legally, if they're migrants, he's planning on kicking them all out. If somebody says that they suspect that you might be undocumented, you're gone. And he's doing that on the basis that a whole bunch of them are violent criminals. And I'm sure there's some of them that are, but yeah, there's a lot of us white folks that are violent criminals too. So why is he, and to answer the question, why is he allowing the 1,600 to be like exonerated or pardoned or their sentences commuted? Is because it was like too much work to focus on each one at a time, so he literally said, F it, just let them all out and we'll figure it out from there. That's literally how it went. I'll put some links in the description so I'm not just pulling that out of thin air. Crazy. Yeah, it is a lot of work, but that's why you have like a team do it, and that's why you have to have an attention span that's longer than a gnat's. Yeah. By BoobTube, I never heard about Bohemian Grove either until Kiely Rodni. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff I'd never heard about until Kiely Rodni, and then also the Idaho 4. So I had actually heard about the OnlyFans kind of not so much during Kiely Rodni, but once the Trinity Bacchus thing started up, because as you guys probably know, her mother, Andrea Stanio, married to Deputy Chris Stanio, had an OnlyFans page, as did Trinity Bacchus's fake Auntie Ashley, whose house she was allegedly at when she not suspiciously just disappeared and reappeared deceased in some bramble. And there was nothing suspicious about it and no foul play, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Crazy. So that's when I first learned about the OnlyFans. And yeah, it's part of the dark web. And then what's that other thing called? Like the Silk Road? Is that it? MC3PO? The Silk Road, the Silk Highway. That's also part of the dark web. Dark red. I'm like, with their pants pulled down. Yes. Okay, I was going to look at my phone. So yeah, I mean, the trafficking, and then SF Investigates just like pops up out of nowhere. I think anytime there's trafficking involved, like he's part of this fixer crew that in my humble conspiracy theory opinion, allegedly believe that Zanime is part of too. Miss Maggie Moo went to heaven yesterday at 4 p.m. Miss Jazz, I'm so sorry. What, if you want to share what type of, was this a pooch, a dog? Maggie Moo is a really cute name, and how old and what type. Bohemian Grove has been hiding in plain sight for most of my life. I'm up there in years. Yes, C3PO, wish more people understood. We are all so sorry for your loss. BT, BoobTube. Oh, good. Hellaby. Is it Hellaby? Am I saying it right? That's kind of cute. Helby. Is it Helby? I really got to go back to work, though. Yeah, definitely do. Let's see. And with her pants pulled down, Anna B says, yes, Silk Road Initiative. Thank you, BoobTube. Anna B, these government agencies could stop the child trafficking if they wanted to. Right. The government agencies are part of it, in my opinion. Military involvement as well, in my opinion. I hate to say that. My son is active duty right now. He's probably learning more about it than he ever wanted to know. It's something he's very concerned about. So I don't know. Maybe he can be a whistleblower, but I probably shouldn't say that on YouTube and get us all in trouble, right? She was a 13-year-old black lab. Oh, baby, labs are the sweetest. And yeah, 13 for a full-bred large dog. That's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Did you skip my comment about backing the blue? It's important. I kind of read it quickly, and I'll go back to it. Anna B says, I agree, Jazz. In my opinion, also. Hella B says it's Helen with the N dropped off. Okay. It's so hard. It's hard enough for me with regular names. I'm notoriously terrible with names. So yeah, like Helena Hutchins, like Hella, is that it? Like Hella? I mean, that's cool. Like hella bad, hella awesome. Is Prez going to expose and end the traffickers? Well, he says he's going to end any kind of cartel activity. He's going to just have them all stop peacefully. Like he should have done that already on Monday. I think that was the plan. She was a KC purebred. She hung on for a sweetest dog I ever knew. Very loyal. I am heartbroken for you, my sweetie. Absolutely heartbroken for you. If Mookie barks again, I'll let her in. But let me try to get to my notes here, because there's so many things that I want to make sure that we have time to talk about. One of the things I want to talk about is how things have to get worse before they get better. So all of this craziness with all the insurrectionists getting released might help bring the whole situation to a head. I mean, people have to get involved. People can't expect that the government's going to take care of things. Like, haven't we had that proven ever since government was invented, that that's just not the case? And I think now more than ever, you can't just kick back and expect that other people are going to do the important work that you think needs to be done. I think at some level, we all need to be involved in preserving the integrity of our country, to be specific. And let's see. Some of the things that I wanted to say about that, like we need to challenge the actions, I think. Like when Musk does his freaking Roman thing, salute, we need to speak about it immediately. We need to push back. We need to make a big deal of it. We can't just let these things go. Part of what the gaslighters do is they just bombard you with so much crazy that you can't keep up. And we need to try to pick out the important things, and we need to try to keep up. I think if you try, you can do it. And yeah, that whole thing was freaking crazy. And there are a lot of people speaking out about it, and I think that's great. And some of the people speaking out about it surprise me. They're kind of, from the other side of the aisle, and I like being surprised like that. Also, that bishop that spoke directly to the Trump family, how dare she, right? She has come out and doubled down on everything she said. So I'm very proud of her for doing so. She's had death threats. I mean, of course. I think it's proven that Republicans and Democrats do not care about any of us pretty much. Like, the Democrats are freaking idiots. I'll just say it. I wrote all of both parties off back in the year 2000, and I just stayed completely uninvolved for 10 years. And then I finally started voting again after maybe 12 years. I think I went a full 12 years without voting, which is pretty bad, I think. I had voted every election my whole life until the situation in Florida with the dangling chads. I've talked about that before. That was ridiculous. That was the election in 2000. But yeah, the Democrats, saying that they're not even saying it. They're just not upholding the 14th Amendment, that Section 3 that says that an insurrectionist cannot hold not just the president's office, but any office in the government, but especially that one. And then, Biden sitting down and drinking tea and having crumpets with these insurrectionist types because it's tradition. Well, it's also tradition to follow the freaking law and hold up the Constitution, in my opinion. Musk is disgusting. He is very dangerous. So, the thing that we can thank them for is that they are telling on themselves. I said it yesterday. They're going to all take each other down probably within a matter of days if they haven't done it already. But I think it was Sunday that the angry orange man, baby, zombie president said that Musk knew the computers so well, the computers that count the votes. And what he said, I put that little segment in a community post. I think it's the last of the 3 community posts that I did today. If it's not the last one, it's the second one. Anyway, it's a clip from Jessica Denson. And I had mentioned it yesterday in a 4-minute Fair and Balanced video, which is where I first learned about it. And I was very disappointed in Fair and Balanced, too, that he called it out, but then he sort of poo-pooed it. But I'm thinking he probably did that for his own safety because he's such a big channel. He would probably get hunted down and swatted like today. And that's another thing that is going on, is that people's families are getting swatted as part of this whole backlash. It's absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, I do believe that you're right about that, Annabise, that Musk is very dangerous. He's just stupid. Like, if you had all that money and power, like, wouldn't you want to do nice things for nice people? Like, give me a freaking break. Give me a joke. You guys heard that, didn't you? When one of the people confirming Hegseth was like, oh, you just want to pick on him because he's cheated on his wives. Well, who hasn't cheated on their wives? And, he shows up drunk to things. And who hasn't shown up drunk to things? You're just trying to pick on him because you want to pick on him. Give me a joke. Did you guys hear that? It was hilarious. Give me a joke. I can't remember if I've shared that with you guys yet or not. Too funny. But funny, not funny. I mean, Hegseth is probably going to be getting confirmed in the next 24 hours. And there's even more allegations against him. And he's just out of control. All these people are out of control. But that's part of it, is like, if they set all these little fires, like literally, it's hard to keep up, and you get distracted from the big fires. You can't tell the forest through the trees. So, it's hard to know which way is up when you're getting gaslit. I mean, I was raised in a family where I was getting gaslit every day. And it was only like a year ago, maybe, that I realized that there was basically domestic violence in my family. I mean, there was, I have to see it that way, but it took me all my life to be able to see it that way. And then it was only in the last few days that I've been able to really wrap my mind around the fact that my father was Munchausen's, I say Munchausen's von proxy because that's how I learned it in graduate school. On the internet, it says Munchausen's by proxy. I'm sure von just means by in German, right? And yeah, my point in saying that is that when you're being gaslit, you can't see the forest through the trees. It's like, I like to say, a fish doesn't know that it's wet until it's taken out of the water. It's really hard to see what you're in when you're in it. It's only when you get the hindsight, the hindsight that's 2020. So, and BoobTube says, I need to work, but his mother is like a well-known witch in the modeling industry. Kind of creepy, not going to lie. Oh, I didn't know that. You're talking about Elon's mommy, BoobTube? How weird is that? I wonder if she's got connections with, like, the Russian beauty pageants and such. I bet maybe. I don't know. Let's see. I don't vote anymore. I'm politically celibate. Can screw with any liars. I'm just personally done. Yeah, it's a time suck. It's a brain suck. It's the emotional vampires. I think that's why it's good to call the current one in office a zombie, because he's definitely eating people's brains. Like, he just has to have everybody's attention all the time. And for that, I drive myself nuts that I allow him room in my brain rent free, right? So Musk's mother, May, that is wild. Yeah. Just do a Google search on her images. Well, and I didn't realize, somebody just told me the other day that he had plastic surgery on his face. I knew he had hair plugs put in because when he was younger, he was pretty bald, or he was going bald at an early age. And he was pretty round too. I'm going to bet he wears shoe lifts, and that maybe he even like literally had some kind of surgery to make his bones longer in his legs. Like, I'm not even kidding. He's that much of a Frankenstein. Like, his face, when I didn't know that he had had plastic surgery to his face, I was always like, why does his face look like it's melting? And again, if you had all that money, can't you think of better things to do than hair plugs and plastic surgery? And Ozempic, how do you say it? Ozempic, I think, or Monjero. I think he did the Ozempic. That's what everybody is talking about on the interwebs. I wish I had more time to wake up more people. Yeah. That's a damn good phrase. A fish doesn't know he's wet. Yeah, I live by that phrase because I'm that fish. I didn't know that the whole thing with the Munchausen's van proxy. Did not know that that's what I had lived. And again, to reiterate, I'm 57 years old now, and I was 11 and a half when it happened. I was about 10 years out from that, about 22 or 3 when I realized it wasn't an accident. And then, what is that? Another, don't make me do math. No one's making me except me. Another 32, 33 years trying to put together that it's Munchausen's Van Proxy. Again, I hadn't heard of Munchausen's Van Proxy till I was in my mid-20s in graduate school. But when I was learning about it, I could have like put it all into the equation if I wasn't in such denial and if I wasn't such a fish living in the water. Dang. It's a good thing I'm sober, huh? I got sober when I was 22. Thank goodness. And I knew that that's what I was doing, was running away from the issues that I had with my father. So anyway, I didn't want to talk all about that, but I was thinking that it might be nice to do like a little expose, just walking through the tragedy, like what led up to it, how it happened, all of that, because I kind of talk about it in bits and pieces. I've tried to do that in 1 or 2 videos, but I was thinking maybe I should do that again soon since I've come to this new plateau with it, this new awareness. She's got connections with Marina Abramovich, that's for sure. Bet his hair plugs came from his buttocks. Oh, you just reminded me of the worst or the best comedy with like pubes on hats. Maybe I'll put a link to it in the description. Too funny. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, I really got to stop chatting or I'll never get back to work. Yes, go work. Go work. Why does MZ look like a robot? He can't get good hair style to save his life. I don't even know. Oh, Zuckerberg. I like that little initials form. Yeah, that hairstyle, that new perm is the worst. And yeah, his necklace is just so freaking groovy with his jumbo size black t-shirt. Like he needs a makeover. Like he tried to give himself a makeover. Maybe he should consult with, I don't know, a human. Cause yeah, he does look like a robot. He's so gross. He's so gross. Okay. So, Ronnie Chang from The Daily Show, cracking me up. Absolutely cracking me up. Lots of great political stuff. So about the whole thing with the insurrectionists getting their free passes, he did a lot of great jokes on that, but he was like, yeah, I understand it's hard, just like when you're trying to go through your emails and you're deleting one at a time and you just say, fuck it, let's just select all and you hit delete. But then you get yourself in trouble that way. And yeah, you can't like go back and then review the bad cases of the dangerous criminals that you're letting run amok. And at least one of them has already gotten rearrested, right? Let's see. So there's this guy named Jackson Reffitt. Have you guys heard of this kid? His father is named Guy Reffitt, Reffitt. And his father was the first one to get arrested for the insurrection. And the reason his father got arrested, they're from Texas, is that Jackson called the FBI and ratted him out. So he was serving at least 6 years in prison, maybe more. But he was released on Monday, and Jackson he was already, he's been living in fear ever since he turned his father in, because his father has connections with all them Proud Boys and everybody. So Jackson has gotten a lot of death threats, and Now his dad is out, and so are the other 1,600 of them, and he's in hiding, Jackson Reffitt, and he is speaking out, which is good, because when you're in a dangerous predicament like that, it's good to speak out, because that can actually keep you safe. Believe it or not, it is true. So Guy Reffitt has connections to this guy Stuart Rhodes, who I don't really know who Stuart Rhodes is, but I think he's one of the worst. I need to look into that. But let's see. It was very alarming to hear the angry orange man baby say directly what I suspected had happened, that Elon knew the computers that count the votes, and he was able to work on them or with them and make Trump win the election. It's pretty much what he says in so many words. Like I said, it's like a 25-second clip that is in my community tab if you're interested in seeing him say the exact words that he said. If you haven't seen it yet, it's absolutely insane. And then, those drones that were flying all over the place, and Trump, was it his first day of presidency that he was like, yeah, we need to know what those drones are. And he says to his people, like, hey, find out for me what those drones are. And then it's like, you're Trump. You're trying to tell me you don't know what those drones are. I'm pretty sure that you got the scoop on everything. So that makes me go back to my original thought, which is that he probably had those drones put out there to make people talk, to get people scared, to get people to think that we're on the verge of World War III. And you can't have a woman be your president when you're on the verge of World War III. You need a big tough guy that drives a garbage truck, right? Yeah. He is hilarious. Ronnie Chang, I love him. He's so funny. He's the guy from Malaysia that is just absolutely adorable. So funny. Prayers for the sun. Yeah, definitely. So another really great comedian, and I put a community post up with her latest little video, is Sarah Cooper. Have you guys heard of Sarah Cooper? I want to tell you a little story about how she got super famous, because it was about 5 years ago, almost, I think in May, that I was scrolling through Facebook, and I was scrolling through one of the people that I kind of knew that my sister went to college with. Like, I barely knew this guy, and I'd never like trolled his page, and I was trolling it. And some people that I kind of knew from my sister's college were commenting in a thread, and one of them put a link, a hyperlink, and I never click on those hyperlinks because you never know where they'll take you. And it's probably like 2 a.m, and I was just kind of bored, and I clicked on the hyperlink, and it was Sarah Cooper's first video where she's impersonating the angry orange man baby. And I did not even know until I watched that clip of her that it was all one continuous brain leakage. I thought that she probably clipped it together. It's when they're talking about like the bleach injection and that kind of thing. So she did a whole series of those, but when I found that one, it only had maybe 2,000 views, and I loved it so much. I probably watched it 5 times in a row, and then I literally private messaged it to everybody in my entire Facebook account. And I thought, oh my God, it's 2 a.m. People are going to think I'm nuts, but oh well, already done. And then I woke up in the morning, and her video that had 2,000 views when I discovered it, when I stumbled upon it, had like 2 million views. And I was just like, whoa, I helped that happen. I was part of that. So that was fun. And she's hilarious. She got her own Netflix special. She's like she's got a corporate background. I think she's from India. She's like, and Jamaican. So I think she's like half Jamaican and half Indian. And she is just brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. So I think she worked for Google when she started doing stand-up, and then she quit to see if she could make a living doing the stand-up. And then during the COVID lockdown, she was just really bored in her apartment in New York with her husband, I think. I thought at first that she was single and that she did it by herself, but I think she had her husband like taping her. She wasn't like doing a selfie or with a selfie stick or anything. And then she went viral. Then she got her television show with Netflix, and yeah, she got a lot of publicity. Sarah Cooper. And the one that she just did like yesterday is so cute. I've already posted it on my community tab, so check it out. If you already know Sarah Cooper, you'll probably love it. If you don't know Sarah Cooper, you'll probably love it. She's very, very smart, very, very funny and on point. And yeah, she's just making all these great jokes about, I don't want to spoil it. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, Anna Bees, you haven't heard of her? Oh my God, I love her. I love her. When I clicked on that thing and saw her first video, I was thinking, because the way that cameras are, they highlight whatever is right in the middle. So whatever's like right in the middle looks really big. So like if your nose is right in the middle, it'll look really big. If you're, back, it'll look small. And so, she's like close up and she kind of has a big nose. And so my first thought looking at her was like, oh man, she's kind of ugly. Like her nose is just huge. It was before I knew what a fisheye these cameras make. But she's absolutely gorgeous too. I mean, she's one of those people. She reminds me of Tracy Ullman, her personality and her comedy. Like she's just like a chameleon. Like she can be drop dead gorgeous and she can be like butt ugly, like 1 second apart. It's pretty wild. Oh, you just Googled her. Awesome. Well, I love being an advertisement for her because she's so freaking good. And I love to share my little Easter eggs when I find them. Like that was a big Easter egg when I found that. So yeah, about the drones, when the angry orange zombie man baby on Monday said, oh yeah, find out about those drones, find out what those are for me. But then he was like kind of blank, like he knew that he'd just given it away, because why hadn't he already asked that question? So to me, I suspect that he knows the answer. I mean, that's just how my brain works. Sure, I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. Oh, in situations like this, I do like to be proven wrong, because to think that we have such a juvenile leader of our country who's like playing games and pretending that he doesn't know about these drones when he's probably the one who put them out there. I mean, it might sound crazy, but I think that he was part of the whole thing with the two situations with the rented trucks on New Year's, the one in Vegas, the one in New Orleans, and also these freaking fires in LA. Unbelievable. And yeah, the fires just keep on keeping on. And like I said, it's really like this metaphor of like, you just keep setting all these little fires and people are so busy putting out the fires, they can't focus. They can't really accomplish anything. So have you guys heard of Candace Owens? She's somebody that I've heard the name. She's like a African American NAZI. So I don't understand her at all, but I need to learn more about her because she's very outspoken and she inspires a lot of the whole like insurrection, Proud Boys kind of thing. And I think probably especially because she's African American, that it's very validating for people. It's terrible. So let's talk about Justin Bieber. So he had liaisons with Diddy that he's given a deposition about, I'm sure more than once. Usher just left the country, allegedly. And he's really nervous because Justin Bieber is not only talking, but he's admitting that Usher was the one who had guardianship over Justin Bieber when he was like 15. And then he spent that 48 hours unsupervised with Diddy. Usher was the one who gave Diddy temporary custody of Bieber. And I can only imagine the horrible things that were done to that poor young man over time. Absolutely awful. But the word on the street is that Usher went to whatever country to go hide out with a man who's already been hiding out there for a few years. Have you guys heard of Russell Simmons? Because I have. And when I heard the name, I couldn't place it, but I'm like, Russell Simmons, I know that name. I think that that's the R&B guy that was busted in that expose that I saw about the R&B industry and Black women specifically. He's kind of the Weinstein of all of that. Russell Simmons is, I think, like Clive Davis. He's like one of the people that probably abused Diddy. So, yeah, this expose, this is called On the Record. And I found it because I had been looking for it recently because I wanted to tell you guys about it. I kind of told you guys about it like a month or two ago, but I couldn't find it. It's called On the Record. And it's really good. And I'm going to be talking about it more. So this woman whose name is Drew Dixon is a survivor. She was like an executive at Def Jam Records, and Russell Simmons sexually assaulted her. And she just like took one for the team, as she says. And then she came out with her story, and some other women did too. I think it was only 3 of them that were interviewed for that expose On the Record, the documentary about it. And it's so sad, but it's so well done. So Drew Dixon is her name. She was an executive with Def Jam Records, I want to say for like 20 years. And then as soon as she called him out on his crap, you know, she got the axe, of course. You know, the whole thing with the whistleblower laws that are completely ineffective. And so when I was looking that up, I also came across something about Christian Combs, who's Sean Combs' son, who may have helped dispose of some of the evidence when his mother, Kim Porter, passed away from pneumonia, right? So Kim Porter was 47. She was also a record executive when Diddy first met her. So yeah, these Black women in that industry just got chewed up and spit out. Absolutely. I mean, that's what we're seeing more and more of. But that documentary On the Record is really good. Really good. So you guys remember Lindsay Rodney Neiman talking about the is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? That you need to ask yourself these questions before you say or do anything. Think. I'll run down it again. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? But yeah, because, you know, we all can learn so much from Lindsay Rodney Neiman, who doesn't care when her 16-year-old daughter goes missing and she has the evidence incinerated before the case is closed, because the case didn't close for 2 years, you guys. The case only just closed when the California State Highway Patrol finally put out their report 2 years later that said that she had a little fender bender and overreacted and unalived, right? But yeah, we can thank Lindsay for sharing her sheer brilliance with us. I mean, losing a child is the worst thing I can imagine. Absolutely the worst thing that I can imagine. And sadly, statistically, you always have to go back to the families, right? With all of these cases. And I think it was Mark who was always saying that, and you know which Mark, there's two Marks, Mark with the puppy dog, right? Wrigley. Isn't his dog's name Wrigley? Or no, Ripley. His dog's name is Ripley. I hope Ripley's okay. I hope Mark and Ripley are okay. But him and Kenny, if you guys know Kenny, we love Kenny. I think he's from Scotland too, isn't he? Kenny G. So both of them for the last couple of years have been pointing more and more to the lodge, that whatever it is that happened to Kiely, they think it started there. And for a while, I wasn't on board with that, but more and more I am, because again, you have to go back to the family. And, it's probably what we suspected all along with abuse from visitors twice a year. The Alpine Club, the Bohemian Grove connection, and Kiely was getting older and probably more obstinate and more independent, and they probably couldn't risk her being a whistleblower. It all comes back to whistleblowing. Crazy. She is a horrible person against her own. I took the fastest shower ever. Oh, that's cute, Anna Bees. I should probably do that too. I hope Mark and Kenny are good. Yeah, I think Mark is just busy, like working, hopefully. I know he was looking for employment for a really long time, and he's got a lot of great, like, human resource types of skills. And then Kenny, I think, is doing well too. He had a hard time for a year or so when he lost his sister. That was awful. But I see the two of them every so often, and they seem to be okay. I hope that they're still doing well. That's when I found your channel, was when Kiely Rodni went missing. That's when I started my channel. Fred Field, hola. No notification or Mo notification. Damn, I missed Kiely. That's cute because I thought it said, damn, I miss Kiely. And every once in a while, I feel like I miss her. Like, I just wish that she was of this earth. I wish that she was making her music. I wish that we had more music of hers. And, I'm going to bet you that there's a lot more music of hers recorded than what our YouTube has come across. Like that one video of the Fiddlin' Man when she was 7, when she looked so angry, the one that we've been talking about lately. That was posted on one of Lindsay's friends' accounts that I think only has like 3 things on it. And I'll put a link to it again in the description today. I know it's linked up in a couple of my videos last week, that Fiddlin' Man video that goes to that friend's account. And I forget how many thousands of views that it has, but I think it was like somewhere around 10,000 views. And this is like a channel that has like 18 subs or something. I'm being a little sarcastic, but it's a really small channel. That's pretty much all that's on it. And I'm wondering how many other videos there are of Kiely performing that are like that we just haven't found yet. Because I would imagine that there's got to be a lot, right? Don't you think? And that they're just trying to keep it all under wraps. And why are they keeping it under wraps? Like, why wouldn't you want to broadcast this beautiful young talent? It just makes me suspicious that they're hiding something. Like I said, it's terrible enough to lose somebody that you love I can't imagine anything worse than losing a child. It's unthinkable, but you don't want your loved one's life to be lost in vain. You want to, like Gabby Petito's family, you want to broadcast their spirit and their energy and their light that they shared on this earth. And then, make it meaningful, like turn the tragedy into something meaningful and helpful, right? Oh, so yeah. I almost made my YouTube channel with the Suzanne Morphew case. That was the first case that really inspired me. But I just did all that stuff with Facebook. And then I almost made my channel again with Gabby Petito. But then, once she was found, I kind of thought, oh, well, I missed my opportunity because, I would think the point of making the channel would be to help push the case along. And so it was the same thing with Kiely Rodni. And I didn't make my channel before she was found. She was found so quickly. What was it, like 2 weeks? She went missing on the 6th of August of 2022. And then she was discovered on the 21st, I think. So 15 days later. Although I think she was probably missing before that. The first thing you do when you commit a crime is you have to obscure the timeline. That's a must. That's like criminality 101. And then, like in the Idaho 4 case, how they obscured the timeline with the 8-hour frozen shock phase and then the 4 hours that it took for the lead detective to arrive. So right there, you had 12 hours. You're never going to determine the time of expiration. And in Kiely's case, you put someone's remains in the water and you can't wash all the evidence away, but you can wash most of the evidence away. And, I'm still not convinced that those were her remains. I'm not at all convinced. Anything about her whole case is just so crazy. So crazy. Kiely's case tore me up like when Christina Grimmie was unalived by a crazed fan. I don't know the Christina Grimmie story. Who's that artist? Is it? I want to say Selma. Is that the Selena, right? Selena was the artist that was unalived by the president of her fan club in a parking lot of a little hotel, I think in Texas, right? I don't know who Christina Grimmie is, but yeah, Kiely's case, I was late to the game. I started my channel on, I think it was a week later after she was found because I was so frustrated that things seemed to be going backwards. Like nothing was getting resolved once she was found. It was all like coming undone, things were coming undone from day one with Scammy taking center stage and bringing her own bullhorn and doing her little ballerina twirl. This is what I look like. Come talk to me. I'm in charge of everything. I'm your FBI liaison. I'll filter all the information and see what I think they should get. Bring me all your photographs and videos, especially. All those photographs and videos, you guys, we still haven't seen any of them. Give me an effing break. Or like the guy confirming Hegseth said, give me a joke. That whole case is so freaking full of gaslighting. It's unbelievable. So yeah, I got the channel put together with a friend of mine on the 28th. And then I think I made my first video a couple of days later, maybe like the 30th. And then it was her birthday on September 1st. She would have turned 17. And then I think I made my second video on September 2nd. And then my third video kind of went viral. That was pretty wild. That was pretty cool. And then I got trolled by somebody across the pond, and that was interesting. Yeah. And I didn't think that I would really talk about any other cases. Like, I just thought Kiely was going to need so much work for so long because it was so effed up. I was like, this case is never going to get undone. It's obvious. It was obvious to me that it was such a huge cover up on so many levels with so much organization from so many different agencies. You know, you can't forget all the agencies that were involved from jump. Homeland Security, U.S. Marshals, FBI, obviously, local cops, sheriff, California State Highway Patrol, and more. There were more than that. And what they said, they had 20,000 hours put in of volunteer time, and they couldn't find the car that was like 50 feet away under 14 feet of water, not counting how tall the car is under that 14 feet of water. Like, that's from the top of the water to the bottom of the lake where it was. The car is like 5 feet tall or more, but let's just say 5 feet. So basically under no more than 9 feet of water. And that water was like crystal clear. They tried to say it was muddy. It wasn't muddy. That was crazy. Anna B says, I saw you on Squirrels on Fire. Well, Squirrels on Fire was one of the first channels to talk about my channel. And I remember people came into my lives and told me she was talking about me, saying good things, not like the other one across the pond. And it was a really long live. I think a series called There's Holes in Your Cheese, Bro. So I watched it and I really liked her right away. I just like how honest she is and how straightforward she is, and what a brave, free, independent thinker she is. And she had a pretty crazy theory that I mostly agreed with. If I'm saying it right, and I might not be, but her theory was basically that Sammy was behind it all, but Sammy was a front for the adults. And this does fit with what I'm saying might be my opinion today about that it started at the lodge. But Shan's theory at that time was that Sammy was basically working for the adults. So she was like the fixer who was like taking the heat. And I thought that a lot of what Shan was saying sounded accurate to me, except that I thought that Scammy was more than just the fixer. That, yeah, she is the fixer, but she's also highly responsible for a lot of damage that was perpetrated onto Kiely's person, in my opinion. And I don't understand. I never understood why she wasn't interrogated, apprehended, arrested, taken into custody until Shan found that thing about the $34 billion worth of government contracts. And who else has $34 billion worth of government contracts? That sounds like an Elon Musk kind of thing, right? So her parents had control over $34 billion worth of government contracts, have control over currently now in the 2020 to 2030 decade. So once Shan stumbled across that, which was probably about 6 months ago, it all clicked into place. It was what I had suspected already. I just didn't realize there were so many zeros involved. So I personally think that's why it's always going to be a cover-up, and we're always going to have to fight for justice for Kiely. And we might not ever win, but, you know, fighting the good fight is what it's really all about. And I'm not being sarcastic. It's true. Christina was a huge YouTube music star and was just breaking into the main music group when a fan who she had ignored decided, if not with him, with no one. She was on The Voice. How terrible. Yeah, there's so much of that craziness. So much of it. Awful. I'm very sad to hear that. And yeah, I mean, that's why we all have to be so careful about things, is that people can just get crazy. And I understand. I got my own brand of crazy, right? I do understand. People just go wild. So you just always need to mind your P's and Q's as far as that goes, and trust no one. And, you know, my two mentors, Paula Plunder and Watts the Obsession, they both taught me a lot. They both encouraged me to start my channel. I honestly don't think I could have done it without both of them pushing me. um, and Kiely, you know, it was the trifecta: Kiely, Paula, and Kelly. Um, and so it got me up and running, and I wanted to see if it would stick. So I made like a 2-year commitment to myself to see if it would stick. And it's been 2.5 years. And I feel like it's stuck. Like there's some days where I feel like I've really evolved in an interesting direction, and I like it. I'm right where I want to be. And other times I think, well, I don't know. So I think it's good to keep an open mind. But, you know, I've mixed my YouTube true crime with the yoga, with the jewelry, with the home decor, and now with the politics. And that's a lot. But, you know, it's more like a lifestyle thing, I guess. Like it's just who I am. It's just what I think is important right now. And I am really happy to have people that think that what I have to say is interesting or important. So thanks, you guys. I could just cry. And if you saw my post on my community tab that I just hit 750,000 views last week, I think. So that was a huge, huge mile marker. And I'm just thrilled. I'm thrilled that I've stuck with it. Because it's hard to do something new, and especially when you're as technologically not as inclined as I am, which is why I don't have the ability to do all the cool stuff like, you know, StreamYard and showing videos and photographs on the screen. I mean, I can do like the thing, you know, where I just hold things up, or I can show you a video on here, which maybe I'll do. And let's see. She's the perp. And Anna, I bet you're talking about Scammy. And yeah, I definitely think she's the perp. But she might not have started it. I'm thinking that what Shan said is probably true, that things started at the lodge with the adults. What Shan said is true, and what Mark and Kenny have been saying all along is true. Started at the lodge. All the adults were in on it. And then Scammy was like their fixer. But yeah, she took it to a whole new level. And she's definitely the bad guy, in my opinion. Agree. And how was she allowed to take charge? So strange, the whole thing. Right. Well, that's because of the $34 billion of contracts that her parents are in control of there in Truckee. So, yeah, then I would go on to Squirrels on Fire's panels. Those were fun. Yeah. So I was going to show a quick video, the one of Sarah Cooper, where she started, the one that I helped go viral. And then I'm going to need to wrap up and get going for the night. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. Squirrels on Fire, her shows are mega long, but very good. I know. She does some great shorts too. And yeah, like one of her super long ones was 10 hours. And I was kind of frustrated because I had to watch the whole thing. And I remember like on a Sunday, like getting through the whole thing, getting all my laundry folded, getting my whole house clean, and, you know, just trying to power through it. And I was so glad that I did, because there was some key information in that one. I think it's 10 hours. It might be a little bit less, but I'll try to find it and try to like distill down the super important part that, she said she was going to make some shorts out of it, but I don't know if she did or not. Well done, and congratulations on your views. Thank you. Yes, Sammy, staying up all night was fun. Oh, right. We used to all stay up all night on Shan's, and we would do that on Kelly's too. Kelly did a lot of super long lives. I do stay up all night anyway because I work nights. Oh, cool. Yeah, I know. Sometimes I stay up late. Sometimes I don't. Let's see. So let's see if I can find this video and play it for you guys. Oh, here we go. Jon Stewart and AOC take on Trump's comeback. That will be interesting. It's an interview that's an hour long. I love Jon Stewart and I love AOC, but I wanted to go to Sarah Cooper.
President, in one of your Mother's Day tweets, you appear to accuse President.
Okay, so Sarah Cooper has her own channel, and I put the link in my community tab, and I'll put it in the description here later too. Let's see if I can find. This is the one right now. It has 2.8 million views. So this is the one that I helped go viral.
Whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light.
Ah, wait, stop it. Sorry. Let me try that again. That did not work well. Try it again. Try it again. See me and my technology. So if I go to her videos and go to the most popular one, it's the first one. No, it might have just deleted because, oh my God, I think it did. I think that video just got scrubbed. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. It did. It just got scrubbed. Holy crap. But we'll find it because once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. So it had 2.8 million views. Holy crap. I can play another one that's really funny. Well, and it should be in this. She does a lot of compilations. Okay, this is one of the best ones. This has even more views. This has 5 million views. It's probably scrubbed too. Let's see. Is that so wild, you guys? That taps right into what BoobTube's thing was about.
And he said there actually is, and he named it, whatever it might be. And it was 30 or 35 questions. The first questions are very easy. The last questions are much more difficult. Like a memory question, it's like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV. So they say, could you repeat that? So I said, yeah. So it's person, woman, man, camera, TV. Okay, that's very good. If you get it in order, you get extra points. Okay, now he's asking you other questions. And then 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes later, they say, remember the first question? Not the first, but the 10th question? Give us that again. Can you do that again? And you go,
Sorry
person,
for the glare.
Woman, man, camera, TV. If you get it in order, you get extra points. They said nobody gets it in order. It's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy. And that's not an easy question. In other words, they ask it to you, they give you 5 names and you have to repeat them. And that's okay. If you repeat them out of order, it's okay, but you know, it's not as good. But then when you go back about 20, 25 minutes later and they say, go back to that question. They don't tell you this. Go back to that question and repeat them. Can you do it? And you go, person, woman, man, camera, TV. They say, that's amazing.
You see your dropper mug?
I do it because I have like a good memory, because I'm cognitively there.
Oh my God. Was that so cute? I can't believe that one got scrubbed as I was trying to show it to you. That is the wildest. That is the wildest. But like I said, the one that I just showed you has even more views. That is so freaking crazy. Let me see if I can find one more of my favorites and then we'll wrap up. The how to drugs, how to happy Father's Day, how to cry on cue, how to boat, how to astronaut. She had a Pete Hegseth confirmation hearing 7 days ago. Yikes. Let me see if I can find some of the others that are some of my favorites. I can't believe that favorite one is gone. But like I said, it might be in this compilation.
Ladies, don't do this Brazilian Manjaro if you don't.
Let's see if I can find it. I have a minute.
With a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very
This is
powerful
it.
light. And I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number of the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me. They have a pretty new, magnificent arena.
Okay.
As you probably.
I'm going to stop it here. So this is a how-to compilation volume 1. So that was the entire thing that I was trying to show you that got scrubbed because it was there. It said it was 5 years old. It said it had 2.8 million views. I hit play. It almost started and then it disappeared. That is freaking wild. That is freaking wild. Okay, I'm going to wrap up, you guys. Thank you kindly for being here with me. I appreciate all of you so much. And I'm really glad that I got to share that on the compilation. Like I said, once it's on the internet, you can scrub it, but you can't scrub it everywhere. Because then you got people like Shan who like screen record everything in case anything ever gets scrubbed. So that's cool too. All right. Peace out, you guys. Love and light. It is Thursday. So hopefully I'll be able to do this again tomorrow around the same time. We'll see. Maybe earlier. We'll shoot for early afternoon. So love and light. Drink your water. Eat your veggies. And see you soon. Thanks again.